Level 1. $20,000. You make $10 an hour. Not a wage you calculated. A number that follows you everywhere. Into the grocery store. Into the gas station. Into every job application you fill out at midnight while your phone screen dims. After taxes, you take home around $1,400 a month. Rent is $800 for a room. Not an apartment. A room. Shared kitchen, shared hallway, someone else's alarm at 4:30 in the morning through a wall that doesn't insulate sound. You eat what's cheap. Rice, whatever's marked down near the back of the store, whatever's already open in the cabinet. You stopped calling these choices a long time ago. They aren't choices. The math chooses. Your preferences are an expense you can't cover. Your car runs most of the time. The check engine light stopped meaning anything months ago. You put $15 of gas in because filling the tank is a decision that costs something else. Everything here is a trade. Groceries or the electric bill. Electric bill or the doctor visit you've been rescheduling since spring. The list doesn't end. It just rotates. You're at the register with 2 items and the card declines. Not because the account is empty, because the transfer from yesterday hasn't posted. You step aside. You open the app. You refresh it. The line waits. You feel something contract behind your chest that has nothing to do with the $9.60. Your friends from high school scattered in 2 directions. Some went further. You see their lives in small rectangles while sitting in a parking lot eating something fast between shifts. You don't hate them. Comparison at this level is like staring directly at something bright. It doesn't inform you. It just damages. The first rule, at $20,000, you don't manage money. The money manages you. Completely. Constantly. Level 2. $35,000. The first salary that feels like something. Not great money, real money. The kind that arrives with a title and benefits and a direct deposit that hits like confirmation you exist somewhere inside the economy. You have your own apartment now. 1 bedroom, small kitchen, a door that locks, and the silence behind it belongs only to you. That silence is the most expensive thing you've ever owned. You fill your gas tank completely and hold the handle a moment longer than necessary. The feeling of watching the gauge reach full is not something you can describe to someone who never watched it stop at $15. You buy new shoes. Nothing expensive, just new. You wear them to work the next day and your posture carries something slightly different. That difference is real even if nobody else notices it. But $35,000 stretches thin in most cities. 1 bedroom rent runs $1,300. And the math still runs close. You just don't feel the edges every single second anymore. The panic relocated. Moved from your throat to somewhere lower. A sound from another room. Still audible, just no longer constant. 1 bad month can still pull the floor. You feel that possibility the way you feel weather that hasn't arrived yet. You check your balance on Fridays. Not fear. Habit. The number is never exciting. It's never frightening. That space between exciting and frightening is exactly where $35,000 lives. And for the first time, you start wondering about the next level. What it looks like from the inside. The second rule, $35,000 is the first breath after holding it for years. You aren't safe yet. You just stopped going under. Level 3. $50,000. You did everything the right way. Degree, job, direct deposit every 2 weeks. And landing here still feels ordinary. Your fridge is stocked. Bills clear on time. You go to dinner and order without checking the app beforehand. 3 years ago, that was impossible. Now it's just Thursday. And normal arrived, and normal became the problem immediately. You run the numbers one evening. 30 years at the same trajectory. Same modest raises, same pace. The figure at the end is survivable. Not exciting. Survivable. You sit with that word for a long time. It seeps in. Not like a crash. Like cold through a gap in a window frame you can't locate. You didn't do all of this to survive. You thought you were building towards something else. Then you found out your coworker earns $80,000. Same building, same hours, different department. You found out sideways, through a sentence not meant for you. You can't unknow it. The gap between $50,000 and $80,000 isn't just $30,000. It's a different apartment, a different car, a different version of Sunday afternoon. You do identical work. The paycheck disagrees. You start thinking about more, not greed. Something more like waking up mid-sentence. The same awareness that arrived at $35,000, but sharper now. Because at $50,000, you can see both directions clearly. Behind you is $20,000, and you're genuinely grateful for the distance. Ahead is $100,000, and you're genuinely hungry for the approach. Standing between those two fixed points with full visibility of both is the most uncomfortable position on the entire scale. The third rule, $50,000 is the mirror. You see exactly where you are. You see exactly where you aren't. Level 4, $75,000. Something shifts. Not in your account, in your first thought of the morning. Money is still there, still real. It just stopped leading. For the first time in your adult life, you think about what you want before you calculate what you can afford. That sequence reversal is enormous. It doesn't announce itself as enormous, but it is. The apartment is better now. Not expensive, just chosen rather than settled for. A second room that isn't storage. A kitchen you actually use. A neighborhood where you sleep through the night without incident. The upgrade was modest. The psychological shift inside it was not. You book a flight when you need to, not when the algorithm offers a window. You buy groceries without a running total in your head. Small habits. To anyone who still counts each item at the register, they look exactly like freedom. The math works quietly now, without constant triage. People use the word successful about you, and you don't correct them. The word just fits differently than you expected, like something borrowed. Because you can see $100,000 from this position, and from here $75,000 still feels like the waiting room of something larger. The relationships around you are changing too, not through arguments, through silences. Through things you stop bringing up because the distance between your week and the week of someone still splitting a house has become a kind of translation problem. You didn't create that distance. The altitude created it. You just moved with it. The fourth rule. At $75,000, the noise of financial pressure finally goes quiet. In that quiet, for the first time, you can actually hear yourself think. Level 5. $100,000. 6 figures, the number everyone points toward. You pointed toward it for years. You crossed it and waited for the sensation of arrival. It didn't come. It felt like walking through a door into a larger room with more doors, none of them labeled, none of them open yet. Taxes hit harder than expected. Your $100,000 is closer to $71,000 after the government finishes. In certain cities, that's survival income with a better title attached. You're wealthy to your family, average to your office. Behind your neighbor whose car costs more than your salary. The number reads entirely differently depending on who's holding it and where they're standing. You stop announcing what you earn, not out of modesty, out of protection. The salary becomes a frequency, and the frequency attracts things you didn't invite. Family with requests, friends with proposals. Everyone's suddenly confident about what you should do with a number they've never personally held. The jump from $75,000 to here doesn't feel like the jump from $20,000 to $35,000. That first jump changed your actual life. This one changed your available options. Options without direction are a more comfortable form of being lost. You sit with the number you spent years chasing. Having it feels nothing like wanting it. The hunger was the engine. The hunger was the whole point. Now the engine idles and you aren't certain what's supposed to push you forward. The fifth rule, 6 figures is a door, not a destination. What's on the other side is a question, and the question doesn't arrive with an answer already attached. Level 6, $150,000. Life looks different from the outside now. Not dramatically different, visibly. The apartment is nicer. The car is newer. Vacations are real destinations, not long drives dressed as trips. But the largest change isn't material. It's the social geometry. You stopped relating to conversations about money pressure, not because you became indifferent to other people, because you forgot the actual texture of that pressure. What it feels like to watch a number and know there isn't room. A friend asks to borrow $400. You say yes before calculating. They thank you for a full minute in a way that carries weight you weren't prepared for. The amount was nothing to your current equation. To them, it was a week's margin. That gap isn't financial. It's experiential. You live in different math now. Same city, same streets, different world running beneath both of them. You start measuring your life in degrees of freedom rather than salary. Can you leave this job without panic? Could you take a month away? Could you say no to things that drain you without permanent consequences? Almost. The cushion exists. It just isn't structural yet. One real disruption in the calculation shifts. You feel the edge of that faintly, the way you feel something behind you without turning around. The 6th rule, at $150,000 money stops being the conversation. What fills the silence left behind is harder to name and harder to explain to anyone who hasn't stood here yet. Level 7, $250,000. Different problems. Different vocabulary. You talk about tax strategy, not tax returns. Asset allocation, not savings accounts. Your accountant's quarterly invoice exceeds what you took home monthly at $20,000. The people in your life earn similar numbers, not by design, by gravity. Things shifted without an announcement. Dinners where the bill lands and nobody reaches for it. Weekends where nobody proposes the affordable version of anything, not performance. Just the natural result of cost disappearing as a variable inside the equation. You stop translating your financial situation for people outside this altitude, not arrogance, accuracy. The language doesn't carry across that distance. You once stared up at this level from a parking lot with a very specific expression. Someone angles that expression at you now. You recognize every detail of it. That recognition makes the altitude lonelier, not less. The 7th rule, the higher the salary, the smaller the room where you can speak honestly, and smaller rooms hold less warmth over time. Level 8, $500,000. Money becomes invisible, not abstract, invisible. Prices stop registering. Your balance stops being something you check. Every decision converts to time now rather than cost. What earns while you sleep? What costs you hours of attention? What can be delegated versus what requires you directly? The vocabulary expanded to match the altitude. Estate structures, trust instruments, capital exposure across asset classes. None of those phrases existed in your language at $20,000. The money required them eventually. The isolation is real, though it isn't loneliness exactly. It's something with less texture than loneliness. The person eating cheap food between shifts wouldn't recognize you from across a room. And you couldn't explain this life to them without sounding like exactly the kind of person you would have quietly resented at $20 an hour. That knowledge occupies a corner of every room you're in. The 8th rule, $500,000 doesn't eliminate struggle. It creates distance between you and every person still inside it. Level 9, $1 million. $1 million a year. The number doesn't surface in conversation. Nobody at this level says it out loud. It lives in wire confirmations, in attorney invoices, in quarterly summaries reviewed in quiet offices. You walk into rooms where decisions are made, not because of public recognition, because your capital and your judgment are useful to the people already seated. That's a different kind of invitation, not social, structural. Structural access doesn't announce itself. It just opens. The parking lot is a different country now, the card declining over $9. The gas measured in careful increments, because full wasn't affordable. The phone screen you watched while refreshing a transfer that hadn't cleared. You remember all of it, the way you remember a place you lived before you had the agency to choose where you lived. Every detail is intact. The feeling is gone. The distance from $20,000 isn't only financial anymore. It's geological. Something formed over time, under pressure that can't be reversed by wanting to reverse it. Somewhere right now, someone is doing the math on a $15 gas purchase. Someone is stepping aside at a register and opening an app. Someone is reading job listings past midnight and hitting the same wall every time. They believe the number is the obstacle. The ninth rule, at $1 million, money stops measuring what you have. It measures the distance you can move things around you. And that distance includes the distance from everyone you once were.